Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Now today we're working with Spellbinders Club kits, and I have got the All Clubs exclusive die that's called Aloha Hula, and this is super cute. It has 25 cutting dies and it makes a little hula girl, kind of like those little wobbles that you have on your dashboard. And then I have got the All Clubs Crate bonus item, which is Penguin in Paradise, and it is super cute. It's just a 6-piece die set, but very, very fun. I'm going to be using the embossing folder of the month, which is called Pineapple Pop, and I think we'll bring in some elements from some of the other club kits as well, and I'll be featuring those clubs on another video. Now here's our Pineapple Pop. I have taken a white panel and I've just embossed it with our embossing folder, and then I brought in 2 of the Hero Arts mini ink cubes. I have got Lemon Drop and Key Lime Pie, and I just lightly went over the pineapples and the pineapple stems and then the edge of the card. Now I have all of my materials for my Aloha Hula card all cut out and ready to go. And we're going to use this green panel, and then we'll use our embossed panel, and that will be our card base. Now I have got some cardboard in which I have die cut out the body elements, and then I've got some cardstock, some craft cardstock here. And I've got the little, this little piece I've seen most people using for the waist, and I think it goes around the waist, but it fits nicely behind the eyes. And if you actually line it up, the little indentations that you pop out of the die fill the eyes in, and it makes a nice eye. But I'm layering this up on this heavy cardboard because I'm going to make this a wobbler. I'm going to make this just like those little dancing girls that you have on your dashboard that wobble around. And that's what the base that is included for this is meant for. And so I wanted it to be really sturdy, and so I brought in some cardboard, and then I'm using the cardstock to go over the top of it and just layering it up. That way I'll have a really strong hula girl to wobble on the base. The base is going to be attached to her feet and everything, so that everything will wobble together. And so that's why I'm adding this extra layer of cardboard just to make it really good and thick. So essentially her body, you've got just the 3 pieces. You've got the legs, the body, and then the extra arm there. And that way you can position it. And then you've got a big full head of hair that we're going to add on here. I've got it yellow. I've die cut the hair out in black, brown, red, and yellow. And we're using red for this particular, or the yellow for this particular card. And this is how I inked it up. I had a yellow that was really very light, and so I just brought in this ink and I just inked it up, and it kind of gave the hair some dimension, almost looked kind of like the hair was a little bit stringy or whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to get her laid down, and I don't know why I put glue on all that because I'm not gluing the whole thing, but I'm just gluing most of the body on there, and then that glue will actually dry, which is fine because we don't need it because we're going to actually have her wobbling. Anyway, it's got really nice debossed detail on there that you can get her lined up with her hair. And then this is like the band that your little dancing hula girl would stand on, and then you would sit it on your dash. I think it sticks to your dash, and then your little hula girl dances on your dash in your car as you're driving around. And that's what this piece here is intended for. And so I put cardboard behind it because I wanted it to be strong as well. And then I've got my green cardstock that I'm layering it up with. And I'm taking my key lime pie and just adding a little distressing on this just to kind of make everything match kind of the rustic look that I've got going on. And so the grass skirt is actually 4 pieces. You have the base layer, which I die cut out in the fern green. And then we've got 3 pieces of the actual grass skirt that you piece together. And I'm just inking them up with the key lime ink right now as well, and then we'll get them assembled. I'm going to do my skirt a little bit differently than how I've seen other people do it. They use that real small band on there, but I'm going to use some of the floral elements that are included in there for the waistband. This is her little bra, her little bathing suit top, and I'm just putting a little ink on there and just adding a little bit of shading and interest to it, and then we'll get it laid down on there. We got to get her dressed. Anyway, here's the base layer of the skirt, and then we'll just add the grass part to it and get it going. I'm just going to kind of clean up my mess here. And then you can see the grass kind of follows the shape of the base, and that kind of helps you to understand how to assemble each area of it. And there are there's like a little notch area where you can see they all kind of stack together. I'm just going to get both sides laid down, then we'll come in and add that middle piece. And I'm just gluing the top part. I'm letting that grass straw skirt kind of flip up, and it's kind of got a little bit of dimension to it. And I'm just going to let it kind of be very wispy on there and just let it pop up and just kind of have movement. And then we'll get this laid down. There's a nice little mark on her waist, and we'll just get it layered up there on her waist. And I'm going to give it a good press. And then I'm going to bring in this flower piece here and just put it around her waist. I've seen a lot of people put that little band around there and then let this hang below it, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted this floral element to cover up the top of that skirt and to just look like it's going all the way around her waist. So I'm just going to position it like that. And then it'll just be, she's got an extra, I guess, lei. I don't know if that's what they call what's going on your waist, but she'll have an extra one of those. And I think it looks nice on the skirt and kind of finishes it off. Now we've got a layering piece for the headband, and I've just got some white cardstock die cut out with the back piece, and then I've got orange with the front piece, and it's got little holes in the centers of the flower so that you can see the white layer through it. And then we're going to just layer it up on her hair, and she's going to be just full of flowers because we're going to put a lei around her neck as well. And then this headband. This is a really fun set. In order to get this set, you need to subscribe to the All Crate kit. And that's the one where you get all of the clubs in one, and then you get these extra, the exclusive die set, and then the bonus that you get with it, and it's awesome. I think you also get some cardstock now with the new All Clubs crate, so I'd encourage you to check it out because it is wonderful. And as for the amount of things you get, it certainly is a value. I will link everything in the description box below, and if you shop with those links, it is very helpful to me. It does provide me with a small commission, and it also lets Spellbinders know that I am working their product, and then they continue to send me more to work with, so I really appreciate that. Now, I waited to put the second arm on there because I wanted to get the elements laid down, and that way her arm is on top of it. And I've got it kind of positioned. Well, this is actually the position that the arm goes in, but I'm going to put the guitar from the stitched die of the month. I pulled this element out, and I'm going to assemble it and put it in her arms so it looks as if she's playing the guitar. I thought that was super fun. I play guitar, and I thought it was a fun element, and I was excited to use it. So I'm going to get this assembled, and I've just got the yellow layer that I put my yellow ink on, and then we've got the green layer, and we've got to put these strings in there, and I'm going to have to lift up that base layer and kind of tuck them in there because it's longer and it needs to go underneath the decorative layer of the guitar. So we'll get that, pinch that in place, and then we've got a piece that goes on the head of the guitar where you tune it. There's a little decorative piece that goes up there where the tuners are, and we'll get it laid down on there as well. And I just kind of kept with that yellow and green and orange color scheme. Now, as I was getting this assembled, I realized that I didn't put the die piece that fills in the center of the guitar. I won't notice it for a minute here, and then I'll go and grab that, and I'll die cut it out in orange and get it laid in there so that center isn't showing through. In fact, I don't even notice it until I get it laid down on the card, and then I'll have to come back in with a die and fill it in. So I'm going to go ahead and get my panel put together. And I've got a top folding card base, and I've just got fern cardstock, and I thought I would just lay it down on there, and then I thought, no, let's go ahead and emboss this as well. And then we'll have some dimension on this card base here, and it will just we'll be able to use the embossing folder again and have some extra dimension. And since I've done that, I will decide to cut the panel down, because right now I've got it at 4 by 5 1/4, but I've decided I want to cut it down a little bit more so that we can have a little bit more of that dimension showing behind there. So I'm just testing it to make sure everything's going to fit on there before I cut that down. I'm thinking I want to do that, but I want to make sure everything can fit. And that glue that I put on her legs is dried. I'm noticing it on there. It's dried up, so it won't create a problem for our wobbler. And I'm just going to put some glue down here on her legs, and I'm going to glue that base to her legs because I want everything to wobble at once. And so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to check her out again and make sure I've got room, and I do. I've got room to cut another 1/4 inch off of that. So we're going to take it down to 3 3/4 by 5. So I'll just bring in the guillotine and we'll give it a couple of hacks and trim that down, and then we will be able to see some more of that pineapple embossing on that fern green cardstock. Now, since I cut it off, I'm going to have to use my key lime pie and distress the edges again because I had them distressed, and once I cut that off I needed to add some more to it. I just took those small minis and just lightly brushed them on the areas where I wanted yellow and the areas that I wanted green, and they kind of put some streaks in between there, and I really loved how that looked. And so I thought that would be fun. I was just playing around, wasn't ready to even start thinking about making a card. I thought, I'm just going to play with this embossing folder. And so I made 2 panels, and we're going to use them both today off camera, just playing around with them and using the ink to try and see what I could do. Now here I've got a wobbler, and I'm just going to remove the transfer sheet or whatever you want to call it. And then we'll get it attached to our gal, and we're just going to have a little dashboard wobbler. I don't know what else to call it, and then we'll move this back piece. I'll struggle with it a little bit, but we'll get it off of there, and then we can get it laid down on here. And I think it's a super fun element, and it's got lots of dimension. It actually popped up quite a bit further than what I thought that it would, but anyway. So there we go. I'm giving it a press, and look at that wobble. Isn't that fun? I think it's just super reflective of what the die design is. Now here I realized I don't have the piece behind the guitar. So I thought orange, I'd bring in that orange color just because that is our other color and it would pop. And so I'm just going to take the piece, and since it's on a wobbler, it is raised, so I can just slide it underneath there, give it a press, get it glued together, and then we've got that missing piece in there. I evidently lost some footage because you'll see there now I've got the Aloha sentiment on the card. It's in orange there. And then I brought in the other panel. This one was just yellow, and I used the same 2 inks. Actually, I used the green. No, I used both of them on this as well. I used both the inks on this to get a little bit of a darker yellow on the bottom of the pineapple, and then the green for the top of the pineapple. And we're not going to frame this out. We're just going to layer it down. And I used the landscape die that is included in the Aloha Hula set, and created this grassy area, and it's just going to be the landing zone for my penguins in paradise. So that is the club bonus, the All Crates Club bonus die that I showed you with the penguin, and we're going to create a penguin in paradise card with this, and we're just going to get to assembling those. So it's only 6 cutting dies, so there's not a lot to it. You've got the back of the penguin, the white of the penguin, the arms. You've got the little cheeks and the nose, and then you have the clothing, the hair headpiece, and the skirt for the penguin. And so it comes together really quick. So I've got a couple of these penguins die cut out. We're going to assemble one, and then I'll bring another one in and add it too. Now this one, I brought the orange in because I was kind of keeping with the orange and green and yellow scheme that kind of matches the other card, but then I will bring in a second penguin and we'll add some pink to it and just have a little pink flare to it. So super cute. I've got a little white die cut hair there I'm trying to pull off with my tweezers, and then we'll get this headband laid down on there. These go together really quickly. I think you could do a whole bunch of penguins and you could make a penguin background. That'd be super fun. I might have to try that. Anyway, and then you've got the arms. Now you can position the arms to where they have where they're doing the little luau dance, and that's what I'm going to do on this one. And then we'll position the arms on the other one a little bit differently, but it looks like they're doing the little luau dance, just like kind of how her arms are positioned, but I did put the guitar in her arms. Anyway, so just got that, and then we just need to add the little tiny bits. We've got a little tiny orange nose that we're going to add to our penguin, and then I'll bring in some white pieces for the cheeks, and I'll color them in with my Copic marker. So these are little teeny tiny pieces. You definitely need your tweezers for these. And I put some on a piece of tape, and I'm going to bring in the cheeks, and I'm going to glue them down, and then I'll grab my marker and then just color it in from there. I thought it'd be easier than chasing them around on this glass mat. I could have brought my sticky mat in, but I didn't. So we'll get those laid down on there, and then I'll grab my marker, and we will get some color added to those cheeks. I had die cut them out in orange with the nose because the cheeks and the nose die cut out together, but I didn't think I wanted orange cheeks. So I'm just going to bring in this little pink Copic marker and just add some color to the cheeks. And it's a super cute little penguin. So there we go. I'm just going to position it on there. I wish I'd brought it up to the camera and showed it. Well, anyway, I went and did another one, and I did pink, and I got it ready. And then I went and grabbed the sentiment from the press and foil plate so that I could add a sentiment to this card. And it says, Aloha in full bloom. And I'm using the Better Press green ink to press it. I'm trying to remember what color that is. It is called Leaf, and I'm using it, and we're just going to press it with the Better Press and the Platinum 6, and then we will have a sentiment. Now, I think the Aloha in full bloom, it goes better with the press plate that comes with it because it's a bloom. And so, but I thought Aloha would be fun on this, and I thought, the way that it's made, I can just cut the in full bloom away and fussy cut the Aloha out and use it for my sentiment, and that is what we're going to do here. So I'm quickly just fussy cutting this out, and then we will have a sentiment that says Aloha. And I think it looks nice. I like, it turned out nice with a fussy cutting. And so we'll just pop it up and we'll get it laid down on here. And we've got a lot of yellow on the top of our card, and it will add some green to that. So we're going to get our little penguins and get them positioned. They are so cute. You could do 3. I think you could easily fit 3 on here, but I just did the 2. So we'll get them laid down in kind of our grassy area and just get them positioned. I'm going to tilt that little pink one. And I think they're so fun. Just give them a good press. And then for my sentiment, I'm going to add some foam pieces to the back of it because we've got the 3D or the embossed panel there, and it's raised, so I'm going to help level them out with my foam tape. And then we'll just get it laid down on here. And we've got some really cute, cute cards. So I'm just going to position that there. And then I haven't done any embellishments on either of the cards yet, so I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to grab some sequin mix. I got to wobble that thing again, and we'll bring in these sequins, and I'm going to pull out, this is like a multi-mix, and it has some green ones that are just perfect for these 2 cards, and so I'm just going to add these green ones and just add a little bit of sparkle and kind of fill in some of the extra space we've got with the embossing folder. And so I've got 2 up at the top. I'm going to put 3 underneath my Aloha sentiment, kind of in a triangle. And then we'll bring some in and add it to our Aloha gal as well, Aloha hula gal. So I'll just get the 3rd one laid down on here. And I'm trying to pick, you know, like some of the smaller ones too. I'm going to go with some big ones and some small ones. And then on her, I'm going to lay a big one down and then a smaller one underneath it. And then we'll add a 3rd down kind of below her skirt on the lower level. And I think they turned out super cute. It is a great set. I was thrilled when I saw the product when it came in. I was like, oh, this is going to be really fun to work with. So very, very fun, super cute. We've got a wobbler, and then we've got our 2 penguins. So I've taken some pictures so you can check them out. I hope you like them. I think they turned out super fun. If you did like them, if you'd hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. Here's a couple more videos if you like my content.